bring in the former Assistant Secretary of Legislation at HHS, Matt Bassett, to fact-check some of the president's claims about the current situation and the actions of the Trump administration. Matt, good to have you with us tonight.
Good evening, Shannon. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I want to play something from the president today talking about children being left to starve at the border by the Trump administration. Here's what he said.
The idea that I'm going to say, which I would never do, that if an unaccompanied child ends up at the border, we're just going to let him starve to death and stay on the other side. No previous administration did that either, except Trump. I'm not going to do it.
I would imagine you have a response to that. Quite an accusation.
Shannon, that statement is a complete fallacy. That never happened. At HHS, the children in our care always received excellent treatment. It was one of our highest priorities, and we were very, very transparent about that. We allowed in hundreds of congressional visits, hundreds of media opportunities, and we would never dream of informing the press that they could not see the facilities that hired immigrant children.
Do you find, listen, it happens to presidents of both parties, that there's a lot they can talk about on the campaign trail, but once they get in there and deal with the realities of what's going on, it can often be a very different picture for them. It leaves them with a situation like this where we have these facilities way over capacity. That's not being denied. We know those numbers are true. And yet what we're being told is that it is a completely different situation in the way these children are being processed and handled and treated versus how the Trump administration was processing and handling and treating these children. What's the same? What's different as far as you can tell? Because again, as you said, we are still waiting for access. And I'll give reporters credit today who pushed on that.
Well, the reality is that once children are in the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement under HHS, they're going to receive very good care. Now, this surge is different. It is not a process of normal migration. This is a direct policy, a direct result of the failed policy of this administration. When the president took Title 42 and exempted children, it's important to understand Title 42 was put in place at the height of the COVID pandemic to protect Americans from COVID coming in through illegal immigration. The president exempted children from this policy, and he did so in an illegal way, and that's being challenged in court, led by former HHS Chief of Staff Brian Harrison, my colleague. And I'm glad that he's doing that, because that one policy change signaled to our friends in Mexico and throughout the Southern Hemisphere that if they can get their children here, they can stay here. That is the direct reason we have 17,000 children in our custody, Shannon. And what the American people need to understand is once they're here, they're going to get excellent care, and they should. We agree in a bipartisan fashion that all children should be treated humanely and be given great care. And we do that because it's consistent with our character as Americans. Yeah. But we also have to understand that there is a cost that is associated with this. Every child that crosses the border illegally is now costing us in temporary facilities between $900 and $1,300 a day. They are in our care an average of 40 days. That is $40,000 for each unaccompanied minor. We have 17,000 of them now. And this would be juxtaposed with an American family getting a $1,400 check in the COVID relief package. And it shows you just how radical this agenda is.
Well, yeah, the numbers are staggering of children, of dollars. And for folks who missed it today, there was a reporter who's just been down there and talked about a little boy sent from Honduras alone, 9 years old. And his mother said it was because she knew that was the only way he could get in if she sent him on that trip by himself. It's heartbreaking. Matt, thank you for weighing in. Good to see you.
Thank you.